I am very proud of how I handle all the things.
The stuff that comes
all of the things. That I can sit here with my kind of heart and soul intact. With, you know, kind of having the scars that I have that life will give you. And still feel really full of love.
And you feel that?
For what I do. Yes,
Good.
and for my life, and for other people. You know, I've learned a lot from different people that I've worked with. I've taken a lot of things. I think with every single experience, you take a little something new with you. You know, I think of like working with Jack Nicholson and him telling me to be more aware of the camera. He told me, if the camera doesn't see it, nobody cares, Jennifer. You know, and I was like, oh yeah, because I'm over there doing my thing. He's like, I can't see you.
Yeah.
You're not playing for the camera.
So understanding where the camera's at.
Understanding the
points.
camera, understanding that it is a medium.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good piece of advice that I kept forever and got better at, I think, over the years. Yeah.
I got to be in a film called Moonlight that won the Oscar.
Right.
Do you remember the Oscar year when La La Land?
Of course!
There's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Guys.
Craziness.
Crazy.
So, as a young kid, 18 years old, getting to LA for the first time, I was lost. I was super lost. I was homesick. I missed my mom. I missed my dad.
LA is the loneliest place in the world. I did the same thing when I first came out here.
Found out the hard way.
I used to fly home every weekend when I was doing In Living Color. Go ahead.
But I'm
especially
like,
when you're from New York.
Especially when you're from New York.
Especially when you're from the Bronx.
And then it's just
everybody's so close.
It was so different for me because I was like known as that kid who was in that Oscar-winning thing. So every like function I was at, people were giving me a certain look, whether it was like too much love or hate. Jamie Foxx was the first person in the industry who's ever like called my phone. I don't even know how he got my number. I can't remember, but he called my phone and he just told me to breathe. That's all I remember. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said the word breathe while I'm on this balcony and like I'm freaking out because Jamie Foxx is on the phone. So I'm like, Jamie, you telling me to breathe, Jamie? How am I supposed to breathe? But that went such a long way when I like hung up the phone and I realized that's all I had to do was take a deep breath in.
Yeah.
And I did. Yeah, it wasn't a career advice or anything, but it was just like a quick life moment.
This is very funny.
You know, why?
Because Jamie and I got onto In Living Color in the same year. And we were the two new cast members. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have made it through that season.
Crazy how I just brought him up out of
just
all people.
Random. And that was when I first got to LA.
Yeah.
When I was in Living Color, I used to run home every weekend because I was so lonely. I hated it. I missed my family. I missed my friends. Jamie and I, we became really good friends, and we're still friends to this day.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got through that.
Wow.
Yeah, I might have moved back to New York, and none of this would have ever happened. We would not be here right now.
What was your most physically demanding role?
My most physically demanding role, believe it or not, it was playing a stripper in Hustlers. And I've done action movies, and those are hard. They are hard, and doing the fights and all that stuff is hard. But for some reason, it's like acrobatics. And I was so banged up trying to learn it in like 6 weeks.
Because you were actually doing it? Like
yeah, I did like my one little routine. And that one little routine, I was like bruised all over, burn marks, sore, pulled my shoulder the day that we shot that whole scene because we shoot it for 8 hours. They're like, we'll do it again. We'll do it from this angle. Do it again. We'll do it
over and over?
Yes.
How many times do you think you did?
Yes, and I wound up pulling my shoulder. I have a shoulder injury from it that I still have.
I think.
You know, yes, and it was like fights that I still have scars from 15 years ago. How did we meet?
How did we meet? We met.
We had rehearsal with our director, Billy.
I wasn't scared.
You weren't scared?
At all.
I wasn't. I was really, really excited to meet you.
Yeah.
I had seen you in your other movie, the Central Park 5, and I loved it, and I was very excited to be working with you, so it was a good day.
I was terrified.
You were terrified?
I was so scared, Jen. I was like, you know, come on, you know me. I'm from the Bronx. I grew up obsessed with everything you were doing.
Oh my God, I love that.
When I get that call,
so
like,
sweet.
yeah, Jen's gonna be your mom. The actor in me is like, throw it all out. And so when I was coming to your house, I was terrified. In a good way, the best way.
Yeah, and like that excited way.
Yeah, the inspiring way.
Yes.
Okay, this is where I'm at in my life, and let's go.
We're in the room right now.
Do the work.
In a way, we're so different from the characters, from Judy and Anthony in real life, but we're also very similar to them.
Very similar.
In the underdog kind of way, I think.
Do you think it was the biopic aspect of it that kind of made it like you're playing somebody real? That sort of made it feel.
You know, I love biopics.
Yeah, me
you know,
too.
Obviously I did Selena. But I also did El Cantante, where I got to play Hector Lavoe's wife. When you get to play real people, there's just something different about it that you really get to grasp on. There's a challenge there that's even bigger than when you're playing somebody fictional, a made-up character, because you can attribute so many different things to a made-up character, and you can kind of create it in your mind. But this is somebody you have to live up to.
Yeah, I did a show called I'm a Virgo, and I played a 13-foot tall character. So what the hell? What do I do? How do I do it? What choices do I make? What do I pick? And these runs through your head on set and even on action. But when you play somebody real, it's almost like you have the guideline, right?
You have a guideline, but you also have a tremendous responsibility, right? To that person, to the people that know them, even to their fans. You know, if you're playing somebody who's famous or whatever it is,
wrestler,
like there's
like a whole wrestling
Anthony.
community.
There's a whole community that knows Anthony and Judy.
Yeah, you know, Anthony was my body double the whole time.
I know.
Like, at first I felt that, and then funny enough, spending actual time with him all the time made that all go away. Yeah. Like the pressure and the fear. He's my boy.
I lived with this picture in my trailer of her and Anthony the whole time. He's smiling and he's like came to her right after he won the championship. And I was like, we have to have that moment in the movie. And I was like, please, Billy, I said, please let me come down through the stands and hug him. And you weren't there that day.
I remember.
And I had to do it with Anthony.
Yeah, you did do it with Anthony.
And it was, but there was something amazing about it. It was fantastic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it because I was asleep at him. And I said, what did he say to you? And what did you say? What did he say in that picture? Look at this picture that I've had the whole time we've been shooting. It was the last day of shooting. Yeah. She said, I said to him, you did it. I said, and what did he say? He said, we did it.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh, God, I can cry right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the call.
And I knew it, like, you have to do this piece. That's
we're
not in the script.
Use Jen's body double and do the scene with her now. But it pieced together really well.
I think it was important for their story.
Yeah, for sure.
This was very physically demanding for you.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was whatever.
No, I remember what it was like.
The most physically grueling process I've ever been through in my life. I mean, now I love the gym. You know, like my work ethic is there. I wake up at 8 a.m. I don't want to go to the gym, but 8:30 I'm in that gym. Yeah. Imagine getting the picture of Anthony Robles.
No.
Just imagine seeing it. He's a beast. It would take me 3 years and a lot of steroids to just even come close to where this man was. And so that pressure, I honestly kind of went through a bit of body dysmorphia in a way. You know, looking in the mirror and being like, am I there? Am I at the goal? Is my frame a wrestler frame? Should I go to sleep? Should I eat more? Should I lift again? Do I, you know? So kind of that mental gymnastic was there. On top of learning the crutches and then learning the actual wrestling sequences and all that. But it changed me. It changed me. Yeah.
Sometimes you get to play a person, or for whatever the reason, the story resonates with you in a way that does change your life. I think for me, even in the character, like watching Judy walk, I told her, I said, I'm gonna color my hair and I'm gonna have it lighter in the first part of the movie, and then I'm gonna have it get more natural. Towards the end, she goes, why are you doing that? I said, because I noticed in the pictures when you were, you know, when the kids were younger, she was like, I said, there was a sadness that you had. I said, and I realized you would color your hair in your most sad pictures. And she was
what did she say to that?
She said, oh my God, you're so right. And then she gave me more kind of insight into why she would do that. It's just a very moving movie because it has those very deep stories and obstacles to overcome. What I try to always go to now is go back to who I was. The more innocence, the more kind of brazenness that I had. And I still have that, but I have the little bit of fear, I have a little bit of doubt, or I have a little bit of insecurity. Back then I didn't have that. Back then she was just like, she was Jenny from the block. She was just like, Jenny from the block, and she's gonna do what she do, and you know, nobody can tell me anything, you know. It was just there's a beauty to that when you're younger that you lose a little bit as you get older.
There was a lot of moments where I looked in the mirror so doubtful, and those were such unnecessary moments, you know?
Yeah.
None of that doubt got me here, you know? It was the belief in myself and the focus.
That's my thing. Like, I'm like, nothing's gonna get me down.
And you feel that in your low moments too, like those lowest
In my
those
low
lowest
moments,
times?
I've learned to just feel the feelings, let them come, don't fight them, just let them come and then let them go. I don't get angry. I'm not a person who holds on to things. I'm just like, next moment, let's go. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, 'cause
it's sad right now, or it hurts
But
right
you're not living in
now,
it
or it
like
stings
that.
right now,
Yep.
but it's gonna get better.
Yep.
And it always does. It's a beautiful life in that way when you're an artist, you know, and it's hard. And it's hard, but it's more beautiful than it is hard.
That's a beautiful answer.